gonna introduce us to your little friend?
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about.
Then that toupee glue must have soaked into your brain.
Did you guys forget that tonight is my reunion concert for my boy band? Bad Direction.
How could we forget? You've been talking about it for a month.
That's longer than the band existed.
Hey, Grill Marks on My Heart went to number 5 in Finland. To this day, I can still get free stuffed herring anywhere in Helsinki.
But that does not explain the hedgehog on your head.
Back then, I was called the Hare. This is what my fans want to see.
Trust me, nobody wants to see that.
But I better put this away so it doesn't get messed up before the show tonight.
Also, it might want to run on its exercise wheel.
Welcome everyone.
Yeah. We just do this. Du känns kött.
Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be on YouTube.
Yeah. I know, so too.
Today we're going to be on YouTube.
Lucky shot. Hopla! Hopla!
Great. You could do it a little more like this.
If I had my hair, I could do that.
Oh yeah, and don't think I will ever love you ever again. Period. 'Cause I will never.
Okay. Ja. Ja, det kan till sist in hos Lina. I'll be back.
Okay. Hey, bro. Hey, Forest Cream. Hey, bro. Hey, Forest Cream.
ECPI University, they give you the tools that you need so that you can go to these companies and say, I know how to do this.
You're going great, bro.
Game over. friends has been playing the same game of tag for 30 years. You punched me! It's so much more than the game.
Sonic 06, guys. Sonic 06.
Congratulations, buddy. You're in. Doing great, Anna. Tag. Rated R. June 15th.
Sonic the Hedgehog for the Xbox 360, also known as Sonic 06, is one of the most requested games of all time for me to do for Glitchfest. And for good reason, it is a very broken game. Normally when I go to record for a Glitchfest, I have to do very particular setups to get the glitches to work, or I have to go out of my way to find them. With this game, I kinda just played and they happened. Now there will be some more complex glitches in this Glitchfest as well, but for the most part, I just went through the game, messed around, and these are the results. Let's get started. So, real quick, I just want to mention that this Glitchfest is going to be split up into 3 parts, 1 part for each of the main characters' stories. And today, of course, we are going to be starting with Sonic. I start up the game and we watch the intro cutscene, and while there are no actual glitches here, there is the occasional lag spike. However, this is probably due to my disc being messed up and not the actual game. Look, I bought the game from eBay and this is just how it is. Considering the game's case came in this condition, I should not be too surprised. After all that shenanigans, I get dropped into the game. And of course, the first thing I do is jump into the water and kill myself. But I found for some reason killing yourself in this area does not actually reduce your life counter. Afterwards, I went over to these guards and it turns out they are blocking this bridge. And I will not stand for that, so of course I do my best to glitch past them. This led to some very spazzy results at first, and then I fell down here and I kinda got stuck a little bit, but after enough trial and error, I finally get through and I can now explore the part of the town they were trying to block off. I actually found a level entrance to the second stage, but unfortunately it doesn't work right now. Something you'll have to get used to as we go throughout this video, as I'm sure you've already caught on, is the game spazzes a lot. Me trying to get behind this door here is no exception. After enough forcing myself at it, it does let me through, but it doesn't really let me do anything. Another door over here, quite similar. I do glitch inside, but there's actually 2 doors, so now I'm a door Sonic sandwich. But if I go at the exact right position and spin dash at the corner of the door, it'll let me through and I can enter Soliana Forest, which I'm not supposed to be able to do at this point. But once we get inside, we are bizarrely surrounded by stop signs. I have no clue why these are here. Is this the game's way of trying to warn me? Trying to tell me to stop playing? To turn back while there's still time? Well, of course I'm not quitting now. Let's keep going. I walked around the forest for a bit and I found that the bridge is not here, so I can't leave that way. I kept exploring for a while, then I finally walked over here and finally found an exit. That doesn't work either. Okay, how about if I jump inside the lake and drown myself and die? Not even death will allow me to escape from this forest, so I have to quit out and go back into the game. With not much else to do at this point, I decide to continue the game and go and talk to Tails. This initiates a little cutscene here, and at the end of the cutscene, just look at Sonic. This game cannot even get the cutscenes right. Yeah, there's kinda no silver medal here, and for some reason Tails is just spazzing out. Also over here I can grab these rings, but for some reason grabbing them does not increase my ring counter. Now to continue the game I have to buy an upgrade from the shop, and there's only one way I can actually get rings, which is doing this little mission here. I start up the mission, but while doing it I got a little bit sidetracked and found this barrel right here. I decided to break it, and to my surprise it's full of lemons. I've actually beaten this game before and I had no idea there was a barrel full of lemons. After being distracted by the lemons, I go and beat the mission and get all of my rings. This lets me go to the shop and buy the upgrade here, so I can now do the light dash. I try to use the light dash here to get across, but Sonic does it backwards and ends up killing himself. I try again and finally get it. We can now actually enter the first stage in the game. We've made it this far, there's no turning back now. Would you guys believe me if I told you we're only just getting started with how broken this game is? Let's begin Wave Ocean. Right, Sonic, we have to save Elise, but along the way we might run into some obstacles. For example, just barely dipping your toes in the water will cause your death. Just barely touching the water, oh, dead again. Game over. Oh, great. I have to watch the intro cutscene and do all of that again because I forgot to save. After doing all that, I remember to save this time, and let's go back inside. For some reason, I can jump off the water and attack this giant pillar and destroy it. Turns out the physics with these loops are messed up. Of course. Yeah, I don't think this is supposed to happen. I actually end up walking all the way back up this ramp to the top here. You can see they didn't do a very good job of placing these booster pads on the floor. Once at the top of the stage here, for some reason it makes Sonic repeat the same dialogue he did before. But there's not much else to do up here. This isn't a glitch, but look at how bad that dolphin animation is. Here the physics are strange, and just hitting this booster leads to my death. Oh, okay, so that was a lot of small, kind of annoying at times glitches, but But here's a really cool one. Remember back when I broke that giant stone pillar? Well, you can actually jump on top of it, and that lets you jump back over to the loops here. If you work your way over to this side, you can stand here, and if you get the exact right angle, you can do a trick. What I do here is I press the jump button, and 1 frame later, I pause. Then I simply unpause and mash the A button. If I do this right, Sonic just launches. As you can see here, I kind of mess up, and he doesn't go too far. But like I said, if you get the right angle, it can be awesome. I line up just right, do the trick, and boom! It launches me halfway across the stage. Awesome! And another booster killed me. And here I'm completely stuck against the wall. I know it looks like I'm just standing there, but I promise you I am mashing every button. On the bright side, Sonic's portion is over and we get to move on and control Tails. Oh, come on, game! And can I just say, these high-speed sections? Not the most enjoyable thing. However, I do somehow manage to get through without any glitches, so that's good. Goodbye, Wave Ocean. You will not be missed. Now that we're back in Soliana, it's time to head to the second stage. Now, normally you're supposed to head to the shop and get an upgrade so you can slide underneath a wall. However, of course, we're going to skip that. So I head over to this door. Gosh dang it is so annoying to walk around these pillars on these bridges. Okay, so I get up to the door and I get a very precise angle. Then I jump and do a homing attack just at the right time. And if I do it exactly right, I will go right through the wall. I decide to go to the right as you can see the entrance to the second level, but once I get inside, I touch the level entrance and it doesn't actually work. Now, it might seem like I'm stuck inside this area because the police won't let me back out, but of course not. If we go inside the corner here, we can jump and do a homing attack at the right spot, and it'll let us back out. Now what I actually want to do is go through this wall here and instead go to the left. Then I hit this bumper and go to the top and talk to this little girl. That's what we're supposed to do. But here's where things get a little crazy. Since I've already gone and touched the level entrance, after talking to her, it tries to put me inside the stage. Now when it puts you inside the stage, it's supposed to play a cutscene, but the police won't let me back out. But of course not. If we go inside the corner here, we can jump and do a homing attack at the right spot, and it'll let us back out. Now what I actually want to do is go through this wall here and instead go to the left. Then I hit this bumper and go to the top and talk to this little girl. That's what we're supposed to do. But here's where things get a little crazy. Since I've already gone and touched the level entrance, after talking to her, it tries to put me in the stage. Now when it puts you inside the stage, it's supposed to play a cutscene, but the police won't let me back out. But of course, here we can jump and do a homing attack at the right spot, and it'll let us back out. Now what I actually want to do is go through this wall here. Then I hit this bumper and go to the top and talk to this little girl. That's what we're supposed to do. But here's where things get a little crazy. Got to watch the level entrance. After talking to her, it tries to put me in the stage. Now when it puts you inside the stage, it's supposed to play a cutscene, but the police won't let me back out.
What's up, dude?
Yes, I'm here.
I know you're there.
That's good.
Yes, I know.
Go-getters, get 2 with Dunkin' Go-Tos.
Oh, that is good.
2 sandwiches for $2, $3, or $5. America runs on Dunkin'.
Son of a bitch. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. One of the most polished Paper Mario games and a fan favorite, it's also a pretty solid entry in the series glitch-wise. But even though it's not a complete train wreck like another game starring Paper Mario, the glitches in the Thousand-Year Door range from incredibly useful to just plain weird. So with that being said, let's check out some of the random glitches on offer. In Petalburg, there are 3 random glitches you can perform, the first one involving Yoshi. On this ledge outside Kroop's house, if you ride Yoshi towards the edge and then switch direction, you'll randomly fall through the floor. Down here you can see some weirdness like this abomination. I don't even know why this. Actually I do, but it's a secret. Going into this house with Koops as your partner, if you stand behind the chair and then press X to kick his shell, Koops will go through the floor. He'll be temporarily stuck until you move far enough to the right or leave the house entirely. You just keep having a good time there, Koops. I'm gonna leave now. Another similar glitch can be done with Flurry. Stand by Koops' front door until you can see the exclamation point on screen. Now press X followed immediately by A, and if timed correctly, Flurry will blow Mario into Koops' house and through the floor. Seriously, does everything just go through the floor in this game? Is it a theme? You're now able to move around under the house and even venture outside it where everything is now black since the game thinks you're indoors. You can speak to the NPCs as normal even though they're not visible. Going into another house in Petalburg will correct the glitch for the most part, except when you go to Koops' house, well, it kinda looks like this. Hey, I really like what you've done with the place. Modern, spacious, the indoors, outdoors, it's nice. I think Koops has lost it, guys. Let's move on. The previous glitch was thanks to something called a Flurry Super Slide, and it can be used in a variety of ways. Head to the lovely house of badges in Rogueport and stand in front of the door with the exclamation point on screen. Press X followed immediately by A to perform the Flurry Super Slide, and Mario will be blown off the ledge by Flurry, but the interior of the badge shop will load. Similar to the previous glitch, you'll now be in an unloaded Rogueport and everything is blacked out, though you're still able to interact with NPCs and open doors. Open the door to the regular shop directly below where the badge shop would be, and you'll be able to see the badge shop above. Leaving the shop will load Rogueport correctly, and now you can go back to the badge shop. As you enter the badge shop, the selection hand cursor will appear on screen before you're even inside. Now, if you go to buy a badge of any kind, the second you buy the item, it'll become an invalid item. This possibly occurs because the game duplicates the flag that checks whether the badge has been purchased or not and sets it to both purchased and not purchased at the same time, rendering it invalid. And when you leave the shop, you'll take the hand cursor with you. I don't like you, and I don't like you, and I really don't like you. You're okay. And when you leave the area, the cursor will go away. Performing the glitch a second time with it already being in effect will cause the badges to appear at coordinates 000, right in the middle of Rogueport Plaza, although you won't be able to interact with them. That's pretty strange. This glitch can be performed repeatedly and you'll end up with multiple hand cursors on screen, so that's cool, I think. One of the biggest uses of the Flurry Super Slide though would be in a trick to get the Ultra Hammer early, which is a Japanese version only glitch. Once you have Flurry, go upstairs to the inn and leave through the back door towards the lovely house of badges. When you're outside, get into paper mode and then move right towards the door and then down right to get into the corner of the door and then exit paper mode. Now move directly left and then turn around. Now you need to do small jumps to the right, inching back towards the door until the exclamation point appears, and here's where we'll perform the Flurry Super Slide. Press X and then A immediately after, followed by 3 more presses of the X button in a rhythm. If this is performed correctly, Mario will be placed on the seam of the inn like so. But if you press X 3 times too quickly, Flurry will send Mario flying outside of the inn. Now Mario is on the seam, you want to do as little movement as possible as it's really easy to fall off the seam. Now press the R button to get into paper mode and you should see Mario drop ever so slightly, indicated by the puff of air, and this will mean you're on the lower edge of the seam. If you're not on the lower edge of the seam, the trick won't work. In this case, stay in paper mode and tap left the tiniest amount and you should be on the lower edge. Now we need to get Mario in the correct position using tap jumps downwards to line Mario's feet up with the floor. If you exit paper mode and his feet are lined up like this, you're good to go. Now get back into paper mode, press left on the D-pad to get into the partner menu and then hold directly right on the control stick and unpause. This will let you move along the seam without falling off or going in bounds, and then you can exit paper mode once you're quite a way along the seam. For reference, here's where you are in relation to the chest containing the Ultra Hammer. From here we can jump to the right and land on top of the chest and then make small tap jumps downwards to land next to the chest. Facing right, we then need to make tiny turns to the left where an exclamation point will appear on screen for a few frames. We need to time an A button press when the exclamation point is on screen, and this will open the chest and give us the Ultra Hammer 4 chapters earlier than intended. This is a very difficult trick to get down, but once you understand it and the timing involved, it does get easier. Just remember to keep movements very small when on the seam and no big jumps. Tap jumps are the best way to line up and land in the right places. Now, as I said earlier, this is a Japanese version only glitch and won't work on the English version. This has to do with the way the Flurry Super Slide works in the Japanese version that differs from other versions. So unfortunately, no Ultra Hammer early in the English version. Moving on to the Great Tree in Chapter 2 and a trick called Cage Skip, which uses a glitch called Goombella buffering. In the room after the 100 Jabby fight, have Goombella as your partner and stand in the doorway till Mario is lined up like this. Now we're going to press X followed immediately by right on the control stick. You have 3 frames with which Mario can move once Goombella has been activated. There's a definite timing to it, and once you have it down, you can move beyond the load zone placed here. Once you're far enough right, you can just move normally and keep moving right until Goombella is no longer visible. Now enter paper mode by pressing and holding the R button and then move directly up so you're against the wall. Like this. Now we're going to press X followed immediately by right on the control stick. You have 3 frames with which Mario can move once Goombella has been activated. There's a definite timing to it, and once you have it down, you can move beyond the load zone placed here. Once you're far enough right, you can just move normally and keep moving right until Goombella is no longer visible. Now enter paper mode by pressing and holding the R button, and then move directly up so you're against the wall. Like this. Now we're going to press X followed immediately by right on the control stick. You have 3 frames with which Mario can move once Goombella has been activated. There's a definite timing to it, and once you have it down, you can move beyond the load zone placed here. Once you're far enough right, you can just move normally and keep moving right until Goombella is no longer visible. Now enter paper mode by pressing and holding the R button, and then move directly up so you're against the wall. Now we're going to press X followed immediately by right on the control stick. You have 3 frames with which Mario can move once Goombella has been activated. There's a definite timing to it, and once you have it down, you can move beyond the load zone placed here. Once you're far enough right, you can just move normally and keep moving right until Goombella is no longer visible. Now enter paper mode by pressing and holding the R button, and then move directly up so you're against the wall.
You okay, Mona?
Yes, I'm okay.
You okay, Mona?